This is the second Sunday we're recording an episode after a Lakers win, and you would assume that the Lakers are on a roll and are leading the Western Conference. But unfortunately, they're not. Not to take away any credit from a big win against the Brooklyn Nets
Haters.
today. Anthony Davis put on a classic show, 37 points, 18 rebounds. Great performance. And the Lakers are off and running. They're still 14th in the Western Conference, 3 wins, 10 losses. We'll start off our episode with the Lakers. The Lakers, this formula is not working. Regardless of the win today, it's not working, right? And the only way you can fix this, because they don't even have any other draft picks, is, and there have been a few rumors about this over the past week or so, is if you would trade Anthony
Davis. Yeah.
Is that realistic? Do you see that happening? Is that the only way forward for the Lakers if you want to salvage something out of this? And what would you get in return, or where would he go? I mean, so many questions open up.
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's tempting, but currently, I don't think they'll get the. First of all, there's not that many superstars available to be traded anyway. So unless it's a trade where they're immediately contenders, something like, I don't know, like a Lillard or a Paul George, somebody of that caliber. Unless it's that, which I don't believe to be true. I think the best case scenario is they get Bradley Beal. But even Bradley, like, you know my feelings about it. Not really. Nope. So nothing that makes them a contender. If that's so, then basically it's a cut price deal. For me, that's a waste of time. I think they should just see this year through. A bunch of options open up at the end of the year. It's going to be one of those years. Just suck it up, move on, and then next year you have a whole shit ton of options, including LeBron. So you know, I long term, I think the best thing to do is just suck it up, let this one go, and then see it from there.
So that means wasting another year for the Lakers, and it becomes a big year because it's one of LeBron's last years, right? He's on his last leg. Is that something he would sign off on?
I mean, look, he's wasted his own. I think, okay. So I think LeBron is not going to win another chip, at least not as the number one player.
Okay.
That's not happening. As the number two, sure.
Okay.
The thing is LeBron James willing to play that role any longer? There was a time where he had to be pushed to be the number one player on the team, where everyone on Miami Heat had to tell him it has to be you. I think now it's at a point where it's going to be tough for him to accept like a supporting role. I don't think in his head he has declined. Yeah, I don't think he has. In his head, I don't think it has happened. So it's going to be tough. I think the best case scenario for the Lakers is see this season through. The important objective is to not get the number one pick. Just fuck it up for the Pelicans. See this season through. Because there's no way the Pelicans are choosing not to swap that pick. Right?
Of course
It's a lottery pick, so get a good pick, but not a very very good pick. See if you can keep it, and then try your luck in the draft, and also then you can trade Westbrook and whoever else in the offseason.
So you see, say come February when the trade deadline is there, you see Anthony Davis still being in the Lakers uniform.
That I don't know. I think they'll cave. And there's a 50-50 chance they'll make a trade. My fear is it'll be a cut price deal, and if that's the case, I at least wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want to do it. I think they'll cave. Yeah, the Chicago thing sounds promising.
It does. Anthony Davis though he's been pretty good on defense. I can't fault him for Lakers losses, right? And today he showed that he can be that person on offense as well. It's nowhere near the bubble Anthony Davis we saw a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, where he was hitting 3-pointers, scaring everyone off, right? He's no longer that guy. You spoke about it in the last episode as well, where he's just happy taking jump shots, and that's not his strength, right?
Yeah.
Now, with LeBron, with Anthony Davis, you can still trade Russell Westbrook and get that piece from Indiana Pacers, right? Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I know it's not the best deal out there, but still, that would put them in a position to contend.
That's the thing. I don't think they'll contend.
Are you really willing? You won't?
No, I don't think so. Cut price deal for us, Westbrook is totally okay. Because even the best case scenario is not very great for him. It's not like you'll get a Kyrie or something in return. Kyrie level player, not Kyrie.
You would get Kyrie if you want to. I think the Brooklyn Nets are eager to.
I don't think anyone wants to. Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to take Kyrie. But I wouldn't mind a cut price deal for Westbrook. But that's the thing with this roster, with the squad. I don't think even Turner plus Hield is going to fix it. First of all, neither of them are like alpha superstar proven in the
You don't
playoff,
need to be,
whatever
right? That's what
killers.
you just need someone to knock down threes and then defend well, and that's about it.
I think Turner, if he's expected to be a volume 3 shooter, is going to disappoint you. I think he gets away with shooting a few here and there. He's not
No,
exactly
Buddy
forcing
Hield is
his.
a good 3-point shooter.
Hield is
Miles
amazing.
Turner could.
No
Miles
doubt.
Turner can
Yeah.
defend. He can protect the rim.
Yeah, no, I like Miles Turner, especially now that it's abundantly clear, and it's been so for like a season and a half now that AD, though he could probably add maximum value as at the 5, it's clear he doesn't want to play that position. Most probably because fitness concerns. Who wants to go bumping shoulders with all those bigs? Which to me it seems a little odd. It's not like, I mean, it's the NBA.
Yeah.
You're going to bump shoulders with a number 4. They're not that much smaller than the 5s in the league.
True.
I mean, it's just one of those absurd things. Embiid is not the definition of the average big man in the league.
Draymond
He
Green
also,
plays the 5 for Warriors in
exactly.
closing time, so right, and he's one of the shortest guys out there.
Hey man, PJ Tucker played the 5 in the playoffs.
Exactly.
Against Anthony Davis.
Exactly.
That is the kind of body
he
he's
did
bumping
a great
shoulders.
job. I mean, he did a good job. Anthony Davis, of course, was better, but PJ Tucker didn't really embarrass himself there.
Yeah, I like Turner because AD is not going to play the 5. The only thing is, I've seen that fail big time before. This Twin Towers thing where they paired Boogie Cousins with AD, and there'd be games where both of them would go off and they would still not do enough to get the win because they'd kind of get in each other's way. I don't see Turner as being that skilled on offense. He'll add to their defense, sure. I think AD and Turner in the paint, that's a formidable defense. But I don't know. I'm not really sold on. Hield I like. Turner I'm not really sold. Not in LA.
Okay. We briefly spoke about Kyrie Irving. Moving on to Brooklyn Nets, and who just lost their game against the. Do you think the Brooklyn Nets are better off without Kyrie Irving? I mean, I know he's a great player, all-star, probably make all NBA teams if he played all games. But do you think bring all the intangibles he brings into the team, the uncertainty that brings into the team, are the Nets better off without him?
I think so. With Kyrie, without Kyrie, their best case scenario at this moment seems to be a 10th place finish. So who cares? They play without. I don't see this team winning anything, man. Without Kyrie, I mean, look at so you have KD, undisputed, blah blah blah, whatever, and that's it. That's the end of story. Is it really surprising that AD had a good game? He was up against Nick Claxton and whatever the fuck the other people's names are. It's KD, and that's about it. They have a few, okay-ish squad players like Royce O'Neal, blah blah blah.
You still need a number 2 and a number 3 in the team.
Exactly, and none of the guys they have. Ben Simmons, he just seems like a lost cause, man. 2 years ago, I was saying he could be another Giannis, and he just seems like a lost cause.
He looks like scared to be out there.
He missed another game again. This is something else now. It's his knee, then it's his back. It's nuts. Yeah. So I think the Nets are another. It's over. Forget it. Bite the bullet. Come back next season.
But the thing with Nets is they can't just blow up because they don't have, similar to the Lakers, they don't have any.
Same scene. Yeah, same scene.
So they still need to keep Kevin Durant and still hope that he produces at the level he's producing. But
no, I don't think so. It's not working. If they can keep KD, it's going to suck because the roster is just plain bad. Because the roster was built keeping KD on the assumption that it's going to be Harden, KD, and Kyrie. And so they gave up whatever to make that roster happen. It's exactly like the Lakers. They gave up all their young players. They sent, Karis LeVert and Dinwiddie and this guy and that guy and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. They sent them all out, lost a bunch of picks, etc., etc. Whatever little they had left, the Harden deal gutted them. Then Harden gutted them. Kyrie keeps stabbing them. Kyrie's like, the Nets are Julius Caesar right now. Kyrie is just Brutus, except Brutus is stabbing them 34 times. And at some point he's gonna. What some point? We're already there. Like he's indefinitely out.
Yeah.
This team was never built for this. It wasn't built for KD to be a solo guy surrounded by total crap.
By Edmund Summer and Cam Thomas and whoever.
Yeah, exactly. So I think their only way out, honestly, right now is to trade KD. I don't see any other, and they should just spare him the misery, let him go where he finds some value. I'm hearing Philadelphia. That's going to be so much fun. Harden comes, leaves, and then KD has to, put his head down and join Harden's team. That'll be a bunch of mopey sulks, Harden, Embiid, and Durant on a team. Wow.
We've started this episode on quite a depressing note, talking about Lakers and the Nets. Let's move to some brighter things. Luka Doncic, he's been on
Woohoo!
terrific form, right? 30, 34 something he's averaging so far,
Yep.
13 games into
Yep.
the season.
Yep.
But he has a usage rate of almost 40, which is probably one of the all-time highest usage
Yeah, I
rates
think right now it's the
in
highest
the NBA,
ever.
right?
Right now it's the
And
highest ever. Yeah.
we've seen this with James Harden. And
Yeah.
to credit James Harden, he took that team to a game 7 against probably the best team ever
Yeah.
built in the NBA. So you can't really say that James Harden, that strategy failed, right? It worked. Now, Luka Doncic, I would say, is better than James Harden, probably, maybe at the same level. So do you think this is sustainable for someone like Luka Doncic? This, do it all by himself, do it even in the playoffs, and he's shown that he can do it. He took this team to the conference final.
Absolutely.
Do you
No,
think
I
this
mean,
is
absolutely,
sustainable?
he's shown. Sorry, I
Yeah.
think network issue. We were overlapping. When I said absolutely, I meant he's shown that he can do it in the playoffs. Not that I think this is sustainable. The three guys I can think. I think we were talking about this the other day. The three other players I can think of with this kind of usage rate were Russ in that triple double, one of those triple
Yeah.
double seasons, where he was passing it to himself, shooting on purpose and missing, and then getting his own rebound and then scoring. It was one of those performances. So that was Russ. Then there was James Harden, and I believe Kobe in one of those seasons. I think he
Yeah,
had a very
2005
high.
or 6, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, all these three guys, when they had these high usage rates, were absolutely peak fitness in their physical prime sort of situations. Yes, including James Harden.
Yeah.
Westbrook's always been among the fitter guys in the league. And then Kobe also, that was young Kobe. I think
James
that was
Harden too.
number
I,
8
I just read a stat
Kobe.
that James Harden missed just 29 games for the Houston
Yeah,
Rockets
yeah,
over
yeah.
8
Yeah.
years. That's
Yeah, even
crazy.
that, half of those he missed on purpose after the whole
In the end, yeah.
debacle. Yeah, yeah. So these guys were all supremely fit. With Luka, this is probably the first season that he's come in looking fit from day one.
Yeah.
So it's new. I don't know what changed. Those hookahs in the summer, I don't know if they were, put to a pause. But he still doesn't give you the impression he's the fittest guy in the world. He's had injury concerns in the playoffs also in the past, carrying this team and just the workload that he has. This load, I just don't see it lasting, and I fear if they keep pushing it, it'll be some catastrophic injury just waiting to happen, like an Achilles or something.
And
I
you saw
think they need to
shades
get
of
him
that
help.
already, right? He had 2 bad games, and those 2 bad games, he looked terrible. Like, I think one game he missed like 20 shots. He went 9 of
Yeah.
29. And the other
His
game he
legs
was
weren't
just,
there. If you remember, a bunch of them were
yeah.
undershot, so his legs
Yeah.
just gave
And
out.
then the next game he missed like 6 free throws, which is very
Yeah.
unlike him, right?
Yeah.
So I know not the best free throw shooter in the world, but missing 6. Yeah. So I don't think it's sustainable either. It's fun to watch. He might probably win an MVP because of these numbers and the performances. Dallas might get a top good seeding as well. They might get home court advantage. All that is possible. But in playoffs, teams come prepared for this. You saw what the
Yeah.
Warriors did to him. The Warriors were very happy to concede 35-40 to Luka and then
Yeah.
shut down everyone else, right? And I don't think that's sustainable. But I think we're on the same page there.
They need to get him help anyway, even if it is sustainable. Let's say he doesn't get injured,
Yeah.
he takes them to the playoffs. Okay, then what? Where's this team going to go?
Yeah.
With just him, I mean, we saw what people did to Giannis.
Yeah.
Luka is going to be easier to contend with because he doesn't have even the squad that Giannis had around him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be only too easy to take him down in the playoffs.
Right. All right. In this week's episode of This or That, and I'll give you 5 players who have been traded this summer, and you tell me in terms of rating so far, 10, 12 games into the season, how do they rank for you? Okay.
Hold on, let me
DeJounte
play
Murray-
our segment transition special. I need to find it first. Hold on. There you go. Okay, super loud, but there you go. Okay, what are you asking?
All right. Rate these transfers so far, how it's working out for the players and the team. All right. DeJounte Murray, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Jeremy Grant, Chris Wood, and I'll include Laurie Markkinen on them because Utah Jazz were on a roll.
Sure. So hold on. Murray, Wood, Markkanen, Jeremy Grant. Who the other guys?
Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert.
Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Okay. So just because I've caught enough games of theirs in the past, I'm going to start with Donovan Mitchell. I think it's working out supremely well. The Cavs are what, 4th in the East?
Yeah, they had won 8 straight before they lost the last 3.
Yeah, look like the same old fun Cavs, except it feels like it genuinely does feel like an upgrade. Mitchell over Sexton. Sexton was good, but Mitchell's amazing.
next level.
Good opportunity for Mitchell to shine also, because he had several underwhelming years in Utah. So it's kind of a clean slate. And what it has allowed is for Garland to flourish a little bit more. I think their play styles
Yeah.
complement each other very well.
Yeah, Garland is more of the pass first and shoot less guy, right? But he showed that he could shoot if needed. Today he went and scored 51.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, whenever they do get to play long minutes together, it just looks like it clicks so much better than Sexton and Garland.
True.
Although we will miss the moniker Sexland, the backcourt that Cleveland used to have, but it's okay. We'll live with it. So this worked phenomenally well. DeJounte Murray, I am stunned how well it has worked so far for Atlanta. They really seem to have got together, man. It's insane. The 2 point guards, 2 assist hungry, ball hungry, possession hungry point guards.
Yeah.
It works. I don't know how both of them get their stats. Some fantasy league guys are happy. So it's all good in the hood, and they're third in the East, which is a major step up from whatever they were doing last season. So I think these two worked really well. Markkanen, again, he's had a pretty great start to the season, but Utah, I think it's always Utah style that it's a full team effort and like 8 people contribute double digits every match. It's one of those things. So it kind of gets lost. But that's what I think the standout things were for me, DeJounte and Donovan Mitchell. Though Jeremy Grant set game winners and whatever, that's still Dame Lillard's team. It's still, by and large, his show.
True.
So,
in terms of trade value, I think I like the Jeremy Grant thing. I think Donovan Mitchell, of course, would come first in this list for me. But I think in terms of value added to a team, I think Jeremy Grant has brought to Portland, which they never had before, a defender who can score us, right?
Absolutely.
And I think he's really feasting. Yesterday, he got another 37-point game. All right. Before we leave for the day, one fantasy tip for you, from you.
Yeah, so the Bol thing didn't work out. I took him and he sucked lastly.
Even Koloko didn't work out, so I don't think we're the right people to give tips, but we'll give nevertheless.
No, we will give tips, okay? We'll give you a lot of tips. I think the Dennis Smith Jr. gravy train's about to run out, so if anyone's sitting on
LaMelo's back.
me, we've got to find ways out because LaMelo's going to come back soon. I don't think he'll get minutes also, forget actual points. So that's going to be tough. One player that I added, that I had my eyes on for a while, so I've dropped, what's his face? Who's the man? Is it Terrence Mann or Trey Mann in OKC? It's Trey Mann, right? I keep getting confused, man. Don't have the same names. Marcus Morris, Markieff Morris.
Literally brothers.
I don't care. Not my problem. Come with nicknames. Okay, so I picked up Malik Beasley from the Jazz. I think he's had a good run of. So initially he sucked. His shooting sucked, and because of that inefficiency, you were missing out on good points. Also because largely he's a 3-and-D sort of guy. That's his whole thing. His whole value add is being 3-and-D. And if the 3's not dropping, then fantasy league you're useless. Now those 3's are falling, and it suddenly seems to have. He seems to have figured out that, hey, it's Utah. Nobody cares about rebounding. I can pick up some easy stats on the way. So he's getting a bunch of those. He's had 3 fire games, 32, 35, 41, something like that. Great performances. So he's a good pickup. I'm sitting on Jay Crowder. He's in my IL spot right now. Just in case. Yeah, just in case he changes his mind or Phoenix trades him. I'm just sitting on him because I have a free IL spot. So that's a good, it's a risk we're taking right now. I have a vacant IL spot, so why not? And I recently traded for Cade Cunningham. Let's hope he has and he got injured straight away, so tough luck. But when he comes back, let's see.
Talking of IL spots, I invested in Dennis Schroeder. I heard that he's about to come back, and I'm assuming that he'll be the starting point guard for the Lakers once he comes back. So
I think
I'm hoping 3 points. Let's see if it works out. I have Dennis Schroeder sitting on my IL list. But one tip from me this week, and I've seen Seth Curry on a lot of on the free agents list on a lot of leagues. So I think Seth Curry with Kyrie having not
free agent in leagues, really? Who the how shallow are these leagues if Seth Curry is a free agent? Like 4 managers in the whole league.
No. They're like 12 man. Because Seth Curry hasn't played the first 10 games of the season, right? He just came back from injury, and then now Kyrie Irving is not playing. So Seth Curry primarily comes off the bench, but what he gives you is a lot of threes and a lot of points, because if Ben
Simmons always plays, fantasy gold.
Yeah, if Ben Simmons is playing, that means he's setting up Seth Curry for a lot of open shots, and he's a 40 plus 3-point shooter, right? So Seth Curry is my go-to tip for this week.
Yeah, even if Ben Simmons is under the rim with an open layup, he's setting up Seth Curry for open shots.
Exactly.
Very selfless of him.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. All right, that being said, that's all on today's episode. Great fun chatting with you, and I'll catch you next week.
All right, man. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.